Hey everyone, welcome to the start of today's webinar. We're talking about a very popular topic, and that's how to improve the number of reviews you're getting on Amazon. As long as I can remember, this has always been a problem on Amazon. It's always been a very important and valuable thing for sellers, but it's always difficult to do. So let's not waste any time. Let's dig right into today's webinar. We're talking about how to explode our sales this year, and this is really exciting because really just within the past month or so, Amazon's made some major changes to their system, what offerings they have, as well as their terms of service. I'm going to go over all those things in today's webinar, including a new product launch that we're doing. So this is what a lot of you guys feel like, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I need more reviews. They're super valuable. I don't know for sure how to go about getting them. What's the best way? I get asked like a million times every month, what's the best way to get reviews on Amazon? That's what we're going to be talking about. It comes at no surprise to you guys that this is a common pain that all sellers face. We need more reviews. We know they lead to higher conversions, but how do we go about doing them? And how do we go about doing them in such a way that Amazon doesn't get upset with us? So my goal by the end of this webinar is to share my 4-step process for getting customer reviews on Amazon in 2020. And like I said, really just within the past few weeks and just with Jungle Scout's product launch today, have a lot of these things changed. If you asked me literally 1 month ago how I went about getting reviews, I would have told you something very different. You're gonna wanna stay till the end because not only am I sharing my 4-step process, but I'll be sharing with you guys the product launch that we're doing, a special deal, and at the end, I'm gonna answer all of you all's questions live. Real quick, if you don't know who I am, I'm Greg Mercer, founder and CEO of Jungle Scout. I've been selling on Amazon now for 7 years. I built multiple businesses on there. I've launched over 100 products, and now I devote most of my time and attention to Jungle Scout. So these are the questions that I always get. I told you I get tons of these questions every single month. And it's, Greg, what's the best way to get reviews? Or I'm having a hard time getting reviews. Or is this allowed per Amazon's terms of service? Or why are my competitors getting more reviews than I am? And there is the hard way of doing it, which is doing a lot of nothing and just hoping that you organically are receiving lots of reviews. Unfortunately, that's not really how it works. Or there's a little bit easier way. And the 4 items that I'll be covering today are talking about email campaigns, how you can use them in today's world with today's Amazon's terms of service, which again, just changed recently. A little bit about the early reviewer program, the Vine program, as well as Jungle Scout's new product feature release that I'm really excited to show you guys. So I'm gonna start with my 4th favorite way to go about getting reviews and work my way up to my most favorite, the one that I'm most excited about. And the 4th one is email campaigns. So a lot of you are probably familiar with email campaigns, but you set these up using a tool like Jungle Scout where they automatically send an email to your customers after they make a purchase. Now, this is nothing new. This is done through the buyer-seller messaging system, and this has been going on for as long as I've been selling on Amazon, so for a long time. But they have changed some of the rules around them recently. The most notable one was, about a year ago now, when they allowed customers to opt out of the emails. Since then, over time, they got less and less effective because more and more customers were opting out of them, but they still do work. So Amazon is cracking down on the abuse of the email campaign system, okay? So we've seen more and more sellers recently, just like within the past month or 2 months, get not their account suspended, but they're privileged to send messages through the buyer-seller messaging system. We've seen that happen to more sellers where they put a suspension on their buyer-seller messaging system for 30 days. And because of this, I want to give you guys some tips about what you should and should not be doing when sending these email campaigns. But the way I think about these now is, like, if you have a brand new product or something that you really need reviews bad on, I go ahead and I send email campaigns and I have them set up. If I have a product that already has a bunch of reviews, I'm not too worried about getting more reviews on it, then sometimes I turn them off just to mitigate the potential risk of that happening. So this is what Amazon says is their terms of service. And a lot of you guys have probably read this. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but There's a few things to call out here. It says you cannot include links to any other websites, cannot include links to Amazon detail pages or storefronts, seller logos, marketing messages, and a bunch of other stuff in here. So this is what Amazon says, okay? But for those of you who have been selling on Amazon for a while, you know there's oftentimes a difference of what's laid out in the Amazon's terms of service and what's actually enforced. Now, I like to go by what's actually, well, I mean, I go by both, but it's important to know and understand what is enforced on Amazon because, you know, you don't want to get your buyer-seller messaging privileges suspended for a period of time. You want to be able to do that. So I've had the opportunity to see what are some common themes or what is still allowed with the buyer-seller messaging system, all right? So you can send one email, all right? Just only send one email. You can't filter unhappy versus happy customers in any way. So this means you can't say, if you enjoyed this, please leave a review. If you didn't enjoy it, send me an email. You also can't say anything along the lines that would like filter out people who potentially didn't have a positive experience. I recommend you no longer include any PDFs or attachments. I would not include any links, and this includes a link to leave the review, which I just within the past couple weeks have started to believe this one. Before that, it seemed like there were still a ton of people sending out email campaigns with links and they weren't having any problems. In the past few weeks, we have seen more sellers, again, no longer be allowed to send these emails who included links. This has always been the case, but don't do any kinds of promotions and never ask for people to update or change reviews that they've left, okay? So the biggest change is here is only send one email to your customers. This has been the case for a while, but I just want to reinforce that you can't filter out who leaves a review and who doesn't in any way. And I would no longer even include a link to leave the review, all right? Jungle Scout is actually updating its email campaigns to no longer include image URLs because it's no longer allowed. We'll no longer have product review autofill tags and other links. We're removing the refund trigger and we're limiting the email campaigns for one per buyer through Amazon. And we're also adding a number of other warnings. So what's I think important to note here is these rules are enforced that like depending on who's looking at it or who's enforcing it, they are done very kind of like differently. So like some of these people could be some people may be breaking all of these rules and they've been doing it for years and they still are sending their buyer-seller messaging today and having no problems. But there's other people that have violated just one of these and they're no longer allowed to send messages for 30 days. So I recommend that you guys act on the more conservative end and go by these rules that I'm talking about or are enforced. So this gives you an idea of what I'm still sending for products that I feel like it's important to get reviews quickly. And you can read through this, but a few important things to note is it's totally unbiased. It doesn't incentivize them in any way. It doesn't include a link. It's only one email. And so you can see right here, since it doesn't leave a link to the review, I just say you can write a review simply following the 3 steps below. Select your account, go to your orders, and select product reviews and go there. And I ask in a very unbiased way if they would mind leaving me a review. All right, let's talk about the early reviewer program. So I had 4 steps I wanted to give you guys. I started with the one I'm least excited about or the least effective. I'm moving on to the next one. And this one again has been around for a little bit, but it's important to note the Amazon early reviewer program. Now you do have to have brand registry in order to take advantage of this. How it works is Amazon gives reviewers a gift card, like $1, $2, $3, to incentivize them to leave a review. So some people think this is a little ironic because that's illegal for third-party sellers to incentivize buyers. But Amazon thinks it's okay the way that they go about doing it. So they incentivize them to leave a review. As a result, the rate at which you receive reviews is a little bit faster. In order to enroll in this program, you have to have less than 5 reviews. And they'll continue to run this program until you've gotten 5 reviews through the early reviewer program or until you hit 1 year. So even if you've gotten like 50 other reviews, but you haven't gotten the 5 through the early reviewer program, they'll continue to try to incentivize buyers to leave those reviews. So you think about it, it's like, okay, it's $60 to run this. You can think about it, it's like $12 per review. You know, it's like, to me, that's worth it. I still think it's worth paying the $60 to help get some of those early reviews a little bit faster. This is what the reviews look like. I'm sure you guys have probably seen these. You'll see on here it says like early reviewer rewards, early reviewer rewards. So the people that leave these reviews, something to note is I've found that these are often reviewers that leave very short reviews. It's like most of my products get good reviews, and it seems like they're getting good reviews, but like they're very short. They don't go into a lot of depth, which is fine, but I think it's worth noting because that's unlike the program that I'm gonna speak about next, which is Vine. Now, the Vine program has been available on Amazon for years. However, just within the past few weeks, or some people got in early a month or two ago, did they make the Vine program available for third-party sellers? So people who are using Seller Central, you can now take advantage of the Vine program. And what's cool is they charge like 1P vendors, the ones that have had access to this program for years. I've heard they charge them like $2,000 or $3,000 per SKU to use this program. And right now, at least, it's free for third-party sellers, for people selling on Seller Central. So how it works is, again, you have to be in brand registry to take advantage of this. But if you go over to advertising, you should see Vine in that dropdown. How it works is you give out 30 free products to these like pre-vetted Vine reviewers, okay? So these are people that Amazon thinks leave really good reviews. If they want your product, they can request it and it will get shipped from FBA to the Vine reviewer. After they receive it, they get it, they test it out, and then they go and write usually a pretty thorough review. So right now, this program is free. At least Amazon doesn't charge you anything for it. Of course, you have to give away your product for free. It's like you're losing a little bit of money there, but it's still a very good deal. So everyone who's in the brand registry program should now be eligible for this. And after you approve people, this is kind of what it looks like. It shows how many units you've given away. It shows how many have been claimed and how many reviews you've gotten from that. Like I said earlier, these reviews are much different than the ones through the Vine program. You can see here that, well, one, it says Vine customer review of a free product. And then these are all very long and thorough reviews because these are usually like the top reviewers. You can see right here, this person's a top 1,000 reviewer on Amazon. So I got like this right here, for example, I got 13 reviews. I gave away 30, I had 13 reviews in the first 10 days. And Amazon claims that through the program, 99% of people leave a review within 35 days. So you can, expect 28, 29, maybe 30 reviews from giving away 30 units, which is pretty awesome. But so that program's exciting. Don't get me wrong, like the Vine program is pretty sweet and I encourage a lot of you guys to use it. But this next one, I'll show you some of the statistics around it and it has just worked so well. And what I'm talking about here is the request a review feature inside of the Amazon orders page, right? So you may have heard about this at the end of last year. Amazon started testing a request a review button on the order detail screen in Seller Central. It looks something like this. And, at first they didn't roll it out to everyone. I guess they were testing it. From my understanding, it now is available to everyone, even in multiple marketplaces. And when you go to an order details page, you see the button that says request a review. All right. So this is very effective and it works very well. It sends an email that looks just like this to the customer. To me, it's kind of weird that they ask you to rate the item and rate the seller. Like I wish they just had this call to action, but anyway, it still is very effective. So when you click that button, Amazon sends this email to the customer, okay? And from what I can tell, not many customers have opted out of these and the deliverability is great because they result in a lot of reviews, which I'll show you right here. So this is crazy. These are on a little bit different time frames, but what you can see is this green line is the number of reviews that I had on a given product, okay? So, this one, it was chugging along. I was receiving, let's call that let's call it 20 reviews per month. And then you can see once I started sending out these orders that it really shot up. Instead of like 20 per month, now it's like 50 or 60 per month. Something similar happened here. I was receiving reviews at a very slow rate. All of a sudden I started sending these out and it's so much faster now. And it's the same story for every product that I've been using these with. So this is the most effective way that I've seen really since I started selling on Amazon. I think that's fair to get authentic verified reviews on Amazon. So it's very effective. I recommend everyone do it, but the way Amazon is set up right now is it's just not a good user experience. It takes a long time for us to go through it and have to click on all those buttons to send individual orders. I literally had a virtual assistant spending 4 hours a day to go through and click all the orders. They would click on the order and go in there and send it, and then go to the next one and click in there and send it. And it was just a very laborious exercise. So that is what Jungle Scout's new feature today is around. We've developed with our extension a way to automate the process of requesting these reviews, okay? So let me explain what's going on here. Right now, I'm inside of Amazon Seller Central. I've gone to my orders page, so I'm on the Manage Orders page, and I see all the different orders I have here. These are all the people who bought my products. But normally, there's not these orange buttons on the page. So normally how it would work is I would go in here, let's just choose one real quick. I'd go in there, I'd click on the order, I'll click Request a Review. And are you sure you want to send this? Yes, I'm sure I want to send this. And now it has been sent. So then my VA would go back, you have to go back again, then you have to click in there and do it again. So you can see this is like a very time-consuming process. So what we did is we did two really cool things. The first one is we moved the Request a Review button right out to the front page of the orders page, all right? Now, this is still sending the reviews through Amazon's normal system, okay? But essentially all it's doing is removing that button from the third page right out onto the orders page. And as you could see from the graphs that I showed you earlier, these are very effective to send these, so I recommend you send these to everyone. So now it's like, okay, cool. Instead of like 5 clicks, now it's just 1, 1, 1, which is better. But then the other thing we did is we just did one button that just clicks all those for you. So any order from 4 days to 30 days old that you haven't requested a review from is eligible to receive one. So literally now all you have to do is you can just select the last 30 days. Jungle Scout's smart enough to understand which ones are and are not eligible, so it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna do 7 days, so it's a little bit faster just for the demo, but I just click Request Reviews on this page. It takes a second to fetch all your orders and see which ones are eligible to send a review request for and which ones aren't. And then after doing that, it starts to send out all the different review requests. So instead of going through and clicking each one of those buttons, instead what it's doing is it's fetching all those orders for you, and essentially it's just clicking all of those buttons for you, which is super cool. The other cool thing about it is after it's done so, it will show you which orders you've sent a review for and which ones you haven't. It will also show you which ones are ineligible, and it will take care of all that for you. So this is available in all of the different marketplaces, and it's very easy to do. So let me actually jump back in here. So you can see up here, there's a counter. This is going through and it's requesting each one of the reviews. Here it says review sent. Any ones that I've already sent, like this one I must have already sent, or maybe something for some other reason, but it's ineligible. So it automatically skips those, and it shows you which ones are ineligible and which one it sends a review request for. So you really can't make any mistakes with it. The way that you access this, if you see if you already have a Jungle Scout extension, only the Pro version, not the Lite version, If you have a Jungle Scout extension, what you do is you go and you just click the little Jungle Scout button. You'll be prompted to give access to this particular page. After doing so, it refreshes, and then you'll now see the orange buttons. So just go to the Manage Orders page, click on your Jungle Scout button. You have to click OK a couple of times, and now you see those. So that's all it is. You can now see that it's finished requesting reviews. If you have like 1 million reviews and you want this just to run in the background, it's perfectly fine to open another tab, do whatever else you want on the internet, and you'll just be requesting these reviews in the background. So it's very nice to do. So now what I do, instead of paying someone to work 4 hours a day to go through and click all those buttons, now just like every other day or every few days, I just go in there, I filter for the last 30 days because it's smart enough to know which ones I have and haven't sent review requests from. I just click the button, let it run in the background. A couple minutes later, it's finished, and all those review requests have been sent, and they've been sent through the proper channels. They've been sent through Amazon's platform, which is super, super cool. So, what's this worth to you guys? I know for me, like I said, I was paying like, what, $40 a day, $1,200 a month, geez, over $10,000 per year. What's cool is we've included this directly into our extension. On the pro level, not the light level, but the pro level, it's included in there at no extra charge. So if you guys already have it, go start using it right now. We're not charging you extra for it. If you don't already have our extension, you're crazy, and you can take advantage of the offer here. So you can see you can take advantage of it for 1 year for only $200. It's much cheaper that way, but if you want to try it out for just 1 or 3 months, you're also available to do that. And here's a little bit of a shorter review, shorter link to get the deal. We'll also drop it in the Q&A box now. So how do I get the Jungle Scout extension? You go to jscout.co/reviews and you can get it right there. All right, so I'm gonna answer some of these in just a second. So go ahead and drop all your questions in the chat box for me now. I know there's gonna be the question of, so how do I access this again? I had the Jungle Scout extension, but how do I access this? So I'm just gonna go through it one more time. You go to the Manage Orders page. Once you're on there, just click the Jungle Scout button in Chrome. You'll see this pop up, and you have to click here for instant access. After doing so, you allow access. This allows the extension to be able to operate on this page. And after doing so, you'll see these orange buttons, and that really is all there is to it. So if you want to take advantage of this, I think you're crazy not to if you don't already have the extension. It's so effective for getting reviews, and really for this price, it's just a no-brainer. I don't know what else I need to say. So let me see what other questions you guys have. Joe says, will it not send a review request if they returned the product? The way Jungle Scout operates is correct. If they return the product, it doesn't ask them to leave a review. At that point, the phase of it has changed. So no longer is it in that phase of looking to request a review. Dan said 1 to how many days? So you can actually send them between 4 and 30 days. What I recommend is just go into Seller Central. Here, let me show you this real quick. Go into Seller Central, just click last 30 days. Really, that's all you have to do. And then just click request reviews, and Jungle Scout will automatically know which ones to send a review to and which one not to. So that way you don't have to worry about it, because it's between 4 and 30 days. All right. The pop-up is there forever. We had this problem with one other person, and I think what was happening was the Chrome is not allowing notifications on that page. So your notifications have to be turned on, or allowed notifications on that page, because it's trying to show you the notification to give it permission. So if that's turned off, it's not working. If you still have problems with it, just email our support team, and we'd be more than happy to help you out. If I enroll my product in the early reviewer program, will this affect by requesting a review twice? I would recommend just going for it anyway. Like, I just combined all of these, because like for one, I think the statistic is only like what 10 or 20% of emails ever even get opened, right? So you have to think, it's like, it's not just that you're sending this one email one time and the buyer's gonna take action on this. It's more likely that they don't open some of their emails, or they open it and they're busy and they forget about it, so they need a reminder. So I prefer to just go, I just do all 4 of the programs that I was just talking about simultaneously to maximize the number of reviews that I'm getting. All right. Smoke Trap, as long as you have the Jungle Scout extension installed on your computer, it runs, on it. It works in any browser. No, it's a Chrome extension, so it only works in Google Chrome. Someone else asked, does it work on all marketplaces? Yes, it works on all marketplaces that the extension supports. So that's like North America, which is Canada, US, Mexico. It works for all of Europe as well as India. What are your opinions on attachments in the buyer-seller messaging? I would not do them. So that's one of the things I called out kind of in my bullet points there. I would not recommend that you include attachments anymore. Let's see. Chris asks, what cadence do you recommend we run this tool? Weekly, daily, monthly? The way I think about it is like a customer is probably most likely to leave a review when the product's still relatively fresh in their head. So like, if you think about it, how much stuff do you order off Amazon and then like a month later, like you kind of forgot you even ordered it. Maybe you used it, or it's now back in the back of the closet or whatever else. So I think, within like the first weeks is when you're going to be most likely to receive a review from the customer. So I would recommend running it at least weekly so that you're hitting up everyone that is like less than a week old. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. All right. Does it skip people who already left a review? Amazon's system may be smart enough to like automatically do that. But that functionality isn't built into Jungle Scout because Amazon doesn't give any way to link up a customer inside of Seller Central with a customer who left a review. But it's like Amazon probably already thought about that, and they probably just don't send the review requests because they're the ones sending it through their system anyway. Rick said, just did over 10,000 review requests. Wow, that's awesome. What's the difference between review and rating? A rating, the way that Amazon does it is like the rating is the stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, whereas the reviews, the text itself. Any link that I've seen sent out from Amazon includes the ability to do both of them. Some of them, like only the emails, like you select the number of stars you get, but after you select those number of stars, you're taken to a page where you can leave the text. Would you recommend using these strategies on a non-branded product? If you think of it as like you own the listing or you're the primary seller on the listing, then I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to increase the number of reviews on that. Will it send review requests for FBM orders? Honestly, I don't know, and I apologize. I don't have any FBM orders, so I don't know through my particular account. I know our dev team tried this on like hundreds of different accounts, so I'm sure this is accounted for, but I'm sorry, I actually just don't know the answer to it. All right. Can we see an email sample sent to a customer? So I only have one because just because I've gotten one from Amazon. I'll show it to you real quick so you can see what it looks like. The subject's, did your recent Amazon order meet your expectations? Reviewed on Amazon. And It says blah, blah, blah. You can read it. I have the ability to rate it 1 through 5 stars. And then after I click on that, I'm taken to another page where I can enter the text. So this is what it looks like. And actually, if they leave it down here, which I wish they didn't include this, because this is seller feedback, which if you're doing FBA is not that big of a deal. I would rather them focus on the reviews, but at least that one's on top of the seller feedback on the bottom. All right, Christopher says, yes, it does send it for FBM orders. The review request only works after it's been delivered. Yes, that is correct. Sorry if that wasn't clear earlier. Let's see. Can we do one email under the email sequence and request a review for that same order? Yes, you can. That is perfectly fine to do so. Like I spoke about earlier, a lot of customers won't, open both of those, or they won't be in the place that they can leave one. So I go ahead and just do 2 of them. James said, would you recommend the important tags for the one email? And my answer to that is definitely not. Amazon actually specifically calls that out in their terms of service. I'm just looking for it in here. That you should only include that tag. Let's see, it's not in this screenshot, but you should only include the important tag if it's something that's required in order to complete the order, or there's like a few other things. But asking them for a review is not a acceptable or like allowed use by Amazon to use the important tag in the subject line. Peter asked, how do I change from my light account access to access the new reviews feature? That's a great question. And actually, if you hop into Jungle Scout, so just go to junglescout.com and log in, and then down here, you'll be able to click on the extension. And if you have the light extension, there'll be a button right here that just says upgrade now. And after doing so, you can upgrade, I think it's $100, but I kind of forget, to upgrade from the light extension to the pro or the normal extension, which has this functionality. Life Lounge says, Greg, I need to speak with you. All right, type it in the chat box and we can speak. I have the Chrome extension. Do I also have to have a paid membership to Jungle Scout as well for the extension to work? Right now, no. However, the plan is in the future to require that, since this is such valuable functionality. But if you get it right now, you'd be grandfathered into it. If a refund has been applied, will it send the review request? No, it won't. How to get the first review? I just launched a private label product and ran PPC, working on Facebook ads to what's next. I would recommend you go back to the beginning of this webinar and watch it. And you can see all 4 of the steps that I use in order to receive reviews. We have one that says, can you show us the template of what you used? Yeah, I'll go back there real quick so you can see it. And you guys can you can also pause this after on the replay or take a screenshot or whatever else. But this is what I use. It says, thank you for your recent purchase of product name. Would you mind taking 1 minute to share your experience with other Amazon customers? It is honest feedback from buyers like you that make Amazon such a great place to shop, and it helps us constantly improve our products and create new offerings. You can write a review simply following the 3 steps below. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Sincerely, Greg. So that's all there is to it. And I feel comfortable sending that email. I think the likelihood that Amazon suspends my buyer-seller messaging system because of that one is extremely low, so I feel comfortable with it. Does the review button only go back 30 days? Yes, this is a limitation of Amazon. They only allow you to request a review for 30 days. So there's no need to, or there's no way to request reviews to the people before that. Let's see. Brent said, why is this not working for me? So I'll do this one more time. So once you're on the orders page, so go to orders, manage orders, click on the Jungle Scout extension right here. You'll see a pop-up, and on that pop-up, let me show it to you one more time. On that pop-up, it will ask you to give permission for Jungle Scout to be able to use that page. So that's something that Chrome requires. It looks like this. So after clicking the Jungle Scout extension on the Manage Orders page, I see this pop up. I then click this button, shown right there. I click that button. I then see another one from Chrome, and I have to allow it, okay? So for anyone who doesn't see this or this doesn't show up, I think what's happening is you are not allowing notifications from Chrome on that page. So you need to go into your settings and allow Chrome notifications on that page so you can see it. After doing so, you just click allow, and then you have all these nice orange buttons, and that's all there is to it. Let's see. Do you need jump send or similar email service after this? So we've actually built that functionality right into the Jungle Scout web application. And so for example, we've built I think the functionality they're talking about as far as jump send right into here. It's called launch. You can see the email campaigns, and that's where you can find all your different email campaigns. Is the extension free? No, it's not, Kyle. It's only $200 though for an entire year. And to take advantage of that, you can go to jscout.co/reviews, and there you can, get it, purchase it. Let's see. Trying to find some that I haven't answered yet. If you're having any problems like enabling that particular pop-up, you can shoot us a quick email, just support@junglescout.com. Any helpful information with that as far as like screenshots or anything else will help us. Our support team's standing by and is more than happy to help with anyone who's having any issues. All right. Is the feature available outside of US? Yes, it is available for all of North America, Europe, as well as India. Using this method, you'll probably actually get more seller reviews or seller feedback, because as you saw in that in the email that Amazon's sending earlier, there's actually at the bottom, rate your experience with it, insert seller name here, and then you get those. So you'll actually probably get more now that you're sending these out, is what I would imagine. Looks like a couple people are stuck on the page where it says like, hey, heads up, and then when you click the button, you don't see the pop-up. It looks like there's 2 or 3 people having that same issue. Let me see if I can simultaneously like try to solve this as I'm helping you guys. I think it is also in our help desk article. Let me see. Let me work on that one to try to help you guys. All right. If I'm going to use the one-click extension ask for review function, does that mean I need to turn off the email campaigns? I personally leave them on for like new products or products where it's really important to get like a lot of reviews quickly. After I've gotten more reviews, I'm not as worried about it, and sometimes I'll turn them off. But at the beginning, I personally still run the email campaigns, but I do so in that very conservative way that I spoke about earlier in this webinar. Do you need brand registry for this feature? I don't think so, but again, in my account, I do have brand registry, so I'm not quite sure, but I don't think you need brand registry for it. Let's see. Any way to know if people are being paid to write negative reviews on you? No way that I know of, I'm sorry. Brand registry. Will also be available in your training academy? Yes. At some point, we'll upload the video that explains how to use this in the training academy. Kevin confirmed that you don't need brand registry in order to use this. That's great. Can you send more than one email if you're sending outside of Amazon? So if you're sending any type of email outside of Amazon's platform, I don't think they have much say over that. That being said, I would still probably be relatively conservative with it. And the one thing that I would be really careful on is not asking for biased reviews in any way. So I think it's fine to send emails outside of Amazon's platform and ask people to leave reviews. But if you're incentivizing them to leave good reviews or trying to filter out the people who didn't have a bad experience, those are the ones that that's what I wouldn't do, because I think I'm confident that's still against Amazon's terms of service. If you're having any issues getting it set up, just shoot us an email, support@junglescout.com. We're more than happy to get you guys set up. Let's see. How can I add a new Amazon account inside of Jungle Scout? That is pretty easy to do. Just hop into your Jungle Scout account, go to settings, Amazon settings, and right here you can add as many different accounts as you want. All right. Upgrade from light to pro, and it says payment accepted, and then my account still shows light. So when you upgrade from light to the normal version, the pro version, you have to uninstall the light version and install the new version that you just bought. So, you might need to refresh that particular page, but then I think there should be instructions on that upgrade page of how you do it, but you need to uninstall the light one and install the one that you just purchased. Hey Greg, how do you handle negative reviews? Is there a process that allows you to use the customer input to determine if there are any problems with it? There's not a lot you can do about negative reviews. You can read them and learn from them to improve your product, but you can't ask people to change them, and there's no hope of getting Amazon to take them down for you. With brand registry and clicking on the Vine tab, it says, sorry, you're not authorized to access this page. I think probably what's happening is you're probably not the primary account holder on Amazon, and whoever is the primary account holder needs to go into their user permissions and grant you access to the Vine program. Can I use this tool for my 2 Amazon accounts? Yes, you can, no problem. Can this tool avoid sending requests to buyers who have left negative seller feedback? No, it unfortunately cannot. That would be against Amazon's kind of terms of service, because we're choosing who to ask for reviews from. And there's also no way to see how to link up the people leaving you negative seller feedback. Zong, who was having trouble, said they removed and then reinstalled the extension and it worked. If you have an an issue with it and for some reason it's not showing up, then I don't know if it Chrome didn't allow the notification or what, but you can try that real quick. And then looks like that fixed it. All right, here's a good question. Several of our products have installation instructions. In the past, we've emailed PDFs or links to the PDFs. If I'm not mistaken, Amazon specifically calls out this particular use case where you can send attachments like PDFs if it specifically relates to the assembly of your particular product. So I would go read the Amazon Terms of Service for yourself, but I do believe I remember that. Lucky Me said, just tested it and it's greater than it's awesome. Thanks. You mentioned brand registry a few times. In what scenario would you need or want that? Good question. Brand registry gives you access to a few different things on Amazon's platform. Things like Vine, things like I'll just show you real quick. Things like Vine, A+ Content Manager. Let's see, what else? Your storefront. It just gives you access to a few different pieces of functionality specifically for brands. Another way is like the brand analytics reports. You only get all of these if you're a registered or you have brand registry. So yeah, it's not a requirement to sell on Amazon by any means, but it is really helpful. Let's see. Anyone who's having trouble with it not showing up, I would recommend uninstalling and then reinstalling it. It looks like there's a couple people that had that problem and that fixed it. Specifically the extension. And just to give you an idea of how you go about doing that, it is kind of difficult. Let me see. If you go to, we can type this in the chat, but it's Chrome://extension. Let me actually write it on my deck and I'll show it to you guys real quick. That is where you can view all of the different extensions that you have installed. So let me just write this for you guys real quick so you know how to do it. And then what you do is you just, on this page, click uninstall, and then you just log back into your Jungle Scout account and reinstall it, and then you should be all good to go. All right, so if you, yeah, that's good enough. Chrome://extensions, you type that into like the URL bar, and that will show you all the different extensions that you have. And when you do so, you can find Jungle Scout. For example, it looks like this, and then you just click remove. After doing so, just go back to Jungle Scout and log back in. So I log back into Jungle Scout, I'll click on the extension, and then I'll just click download now, and it would download again for me. All right. Anyone who's having any trouble checking out or anything else, I would recommend just shoot us an email, support@junglescout.com. We'd be more than happy to get you hooked up. All right, 2 people said uninstall and reinstall worked perfectly. Great. Let's see. Do I need to be trademarked to register on brand registry? Yes, you do, or you have to take advantage of Amazon's IP Accelerator program. Let's see. Any acceptable ways to incentivize reviews from the regular customer? Not furious, but not thrilled. 5-star. What is considered good form? The best thing to do is just not, I mean, you don't want to try to segment your customer base whatsoever. You want to ask for reviews from everyone. That's what Amazon requires that you do, and I would not try to game the system. All right, we have time for about 1 or 2 more. few people said uninstall, reinstall worked. Can the extension be used by 2 people? No, it only works on 1 person. I'm on the bundle plan. I can't upgrade. Just shoot us an email, support@junglescout.com. If you're on some kind of different bundle that the upgrade isn't an option, our support team would be more than happy to get you hooked up. Let's see. Time for... Dan said, great Jungle Scout tools, always getting better. Thank you very much. We've been working very hard on them recently, or always, but especially recently based off of you all's feedback. So thank you very much for the feedback. We're building what you want. Let's see. Here we go. I have the light extension. If I uninstall and reinstall, I'm not clear how to get the review extension. So sorry. If you have the light extension, you'll need to upgrade to our professional version. So to do so, what I'd recommend is just go into your Jungle Scout account. So just go to junglescout.com, log in, all right? Oops. Click on the extension. And on this page for you, it'll give you the option to upgrade. So when you upgrade, I think it costs $100 if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Then it will give you instructions of how to uninstall the light version and install this new professional version that you just bought. And then after that, it will work on Seller Central. All right. To wrap it up, Andrew Kane is a professional seller because he said it's fetching 33,660 orders. It must have taken a long time to fetch all those orders, but I'm glad it did. And it's going to be cycling through those, sending out almost 34,000 emails to customers asking for reviews. So congrats to you. That's a lot of orders. And from it, I'm sure you'll get a lot of different reviews. So to wrap things up, if you guys do want to take advantage of the deal, you can do so by going to jscout.co/reviews. So get the deal at jscout.co/reviews. This is a special we're doing for this webinar, and all of the ones that you see on that page will give you access to this functionality to request the reviews. If you're having any kind of trouble, checkout trouble, problem with your extension, anything else, we're always here to help you. Shoot us an email at support@junglescout.com. Thank you very much for tuning in and staying all the way till the end of the webinar. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed chatting with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.